I never thought owning an RV would turn into a police issue, but that's exactly what happened. I live on a small piece of private land just outside a large planned neighborhood. The HOA has signs, gates, rules, and a very active board. My property sits right next to it, but it was never included. I don't pay dues. I don't attend meetings. I don't follow their rules because legally I don't have to. For years, everything was fine. Then I bought an RV. It wasn't loud, broken down, or blocking anyone. It sat on a gravel pad beside my house, fully registered and insured. The moment it appeared, the complaints started. Neighbors would stare. HOA flyers began appearing on nearby mailboxes warning about unauthorized vehicles. One morning, I found a notice taped to my fence saying my RV violated HOA regulations and had to be removed within 72 hours. I ignored it. I assumed it was a mistake. 2 days later, I came home to a police car parked near my driveway. The officer approached calmly and said the HOA had called, claiming I was storing a large vehicle illegally on community land. I didn't argue. I handed him my deed, property map, and tax records. He studied them for a minute, nodded, and said, "You're on private property. This isn't an HOA issue." He left. I thought that was the end of it. It was. A week later, another notice appeared, this time threatening towing and law enforcement involvement. I contacted the HOA directly and told them in writing that I wasn't a member and that my land was private. They replied with one sentence: "You are within HOA boundaries and subject to enforcement." That sentence told me everything. Then came the call. I was at work when my phone rang. It was the local police department again. The HOA had reported that my RV was blocking emergency access. When I arrived home, 2 officers were already there. The HOA president stood nearby, arms crossed, looking confident. The officers asked if the RV belonged to me. I said yes. They asked if I had permission to park it there. I said yes, because I own the land. Once again, I showed them the documents. The mood changed instantly. One officer walked over to the HOA president and quietly explained that the property wasn't under HOA authority and that calling police repeatedly over a civil dispute could become a problem. She didn't like that. She raised her voice and insisted the HOA controlled the area. That's when the officer said something I'll never forget. "Ma'am, ownership isn't decided by HOA rules. It's decided by recorded deeds." The police left. The HOA didn't. They escalated again. This time, they had my RV towed while I was gone, claiming police approval. That was the moment they crossed the line. I called a property attorney. Within hours, we confirmed the tow was unauthorized. No court order, no legal notice, no police authorization, just an HOA email. The RV was released immediately. But the damage was done. My attorney contacted the city, the towing company, and the HOA. Records showed the HOA had repeatedly called police over a non-HOA property and provided misleading information. At the next HOA meeting, the police chief attended. So did the city's legal representative. The HOA president tried to explain. She couldn't. The board was formally warned about misuse of police resources and improper enforcement actions. The towing contract was terminated, and the HOA was required to issue a written notice to residents clarifying that my property, and others like it, were not under HOA control. The president resigned shortly after. Now my RV sits exactly where it always did. No notices. No police. No threats. Because when an HOA tries to use authority it doesn't have, and involves law enforcement without facts, the truth always catches up. And once it does, it's the HOA, not the homeowner, that ends up exposed.